It looks so tiny now, but trust me, it will be perfect. Hi guys, so welcome back. Today, very simple, very easy, but, and there is always some but, we need to discuss a couple of things before we start this very easy project. If you have ever experienced shirring before, if you already did it, then congratulations, you can totally skip this part, but I know that there are some people who have never done it or who tried and they were not successful, because it can be quite frustrating, but in another hand, it's really satisfying because you will always get perfect fit and you will end up with a super cute garment. It is worth it to try. So let me talk about a couple of things before we start. We need to talk about elastic, about bobbin, about the tension, and the setting of your machine. For the elastic, I will highly suggest you that you get a better quality, and thickness of the elastic, in my opinion, is the best 0.5 centimeter, which is 5 millimeters of thickness. Please do not work with very bad quality, because you can try whatever you want. Probably this will be the main issue why the shirring will not be working. The second thing is, do not use a bobbin winder on your machine. Just take elastic and wind your bobbin manually with your beautiful hands, because the tension on your machine is quite strong and usually it pulls elastic too much, and at the end when it comes to shirring it will not work. When it comes to setting up your machine, it can be quite different. I can only tell you what personally works on my machine, and it is to go completely at the zero with the tension, and I use the longest stitch that is available for me, of course just a simple straight stitch. And the last but very important thing is, do your testing. Test on scraps of fabric, not on different types of fabric, on the fabric that you are going to use. Don't give up, try. There can be a lot of different issues. There are specific tutorials for it. Of course, I will link them down below, but this is not about that. I just wanted to give you few tips, because shirring can be quite an annoying process. For the pattern, you will need simple A-line skirt. Let me show you how that looks like. And for this, you can get yourself a pattern that is available somewhere on the internet usually, or you can simply measure yourself, and based on your measurements you can draw this A-line skirt, which is super easy. This is the front piece, okay? You will need to measure from the waist until the crotch line, because in my opinion and experience this is the most flattering. So you will measure from your waist until the crotch line. So this all will be shirred and this will be the ruffle. You measure from your crotch line how long you want your ruffle to be. You have to add seam allowance on the bottom as well. You have to add the seam allowance on the top. And the difference between front and back piece is that the front piece have slightly bigger curve, but the back piece just slightly. But if you want to do shirring, you have to make pattern wider so that it can shrink after. So whatever is the width of the pattern, I multiply by 1.5. One important thing here, just make sure that it's wide enough to go through your hips. Okay, so I will explain you quickly how to do it. Take a piece of paper, fold it in half, take your skirt piece, fold it in half and place it away from the edge of the fold, so you can add this extra volume here. So for example, I added 6 centimeters, but it's not only 6 centimeters that I will make it bigger, because this is in half, it will be 12 centimeters. So that means when you unfold your pattern, you will have still the same shape of your skirt, but you will have this extra volume added over here. I'm sure there are many more different ways, but this is how I did it because it was simple and it worked for me. So this is my front piece of the skirt, and the first thing that I did is that I draw the line where I want to stop shirring the fabric, and this part of the skirt will be the ruffle at the end, which I will hem as well. The first thing that I'm going to do is to fold the edges on the top twice and sew a straight stitch on the both pieces, on the back and the front. Now we will start shirring the fabric, and we will start the first stitch very close to this one, not on the hem but below that, so that it will start shirring nicely from the top, and this will look a little bit like a mini ruffle. And when you are sewing, you actually don't need to draw any lines before, because you will just waste so much time, and from potentially easy project can become something too long. I always keep it at the edge of the foot, so I use it as my guide line, and it works perfectly, and I think it's a good distance in between the stitches to create really nice shirring effect. You know, also another tip that I can give you while I'm sewing, I like to count my rows. I like to see how many rows I can do with one bobbin, because you know, you will have to change it a couple of times, and it's not fun if you finish in the middle and then you have to unpick everything, because everything just can unravel and your garment is not going to be shirred anymore. So basically what I like to do is to open the space where your bobbin is and just look inside, try to figure it out how much of elastic you still have there, and if you cannot see it like this, it's always better to finish earlier and just replace the bobbin and put a new one there. Yeah, so this is another tip. So I just do it like this. I go till the end, then I just turn it and slowly start again. There is no threads hanging around, nothing can unravel, and really you save more elastic in this way. So after what it looked like century, I have these two pieces shirt. No, I'm kidding. Really, it doesn't take so much time, especially for a skirt like this. It took me maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half for both pieces together. The next thing, before I do and go steam it and iron it, I will actually attach the side seams together. So now I will turn it inside one time and the second time and renew this stitch over here at the top, and you will have a nice finish from the top as well. After all this struggling, guys, this is really fun. The last thing to do is to try it, see how long or short you want to have it, and basically hem the bottom, and it's done. And it didn't even hurt, guys. It looks so tiny now, but trust me, it will be perfect. And as time goes by, I know I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place. Without your love, I am out of place. And without you, I am just a trace. I love you with all of my heart. Together forever, never to part. I wanna be with you always, 'cause that is what my heart says. That's what my heart says. I wanna be